I'm Jasmine, and I am the operations executive for British Esports. Um, what I do in my role, it varies day to day, but I mainly look after our champs tournament, and that's things like making sure we get all our support tickets answered correctly, looking after the admins who actually take care of the tournament on tournament day, making sure games go smoothly, and I also do a bit of event planning. So our champs grand finals, sometimes you might see me at Insomnia or other events like that as well. Okay, so I came with this question like floating in my mind all day. I really like spaghetti. I guess that's like a really broad umbrella, but spaghetti is probably my favorite food type. In Stardew Valley, they ask you for like your favorite thing, and I always put spaghetti for mine. And yeah, people seem to guess my like secret word all the time because it's always spaghetti. So there you go. So favorite game is probably Breath of the Wild. It's my first Legend of Zelda game, but I like that you can tackle all of the quests in any style you like, so you don't have to fight head on. I'd climb to like the nearest mountain and just like shoot arrows or bombs just to avoid having to fight them head on. So, perfectly my style. I don't know actually. There's a lot of bad games out there for sure. I think it's probably this frog detective game that I played, and I tried to redeem it on Steam. Not redeem it, refund it, and I passed like the refund period, so I was really upset about that. I just got a headache from the terrible graphics and like trying to navigate in like the 3D space. Yeah, it was not good, and the jokes were really corny, so not the one. I'm gonna be really boring and say London, so I don't have to travel. And I know London. There's a lot of good food around. I'd say maybe I can't think of any like good stadium or similar, but just somewhere in London, just kind of chill. And I know the area. It's kind of comfy for me. It's like home away from home. If my house was big enough, I would say, yeah, my house if it was as big as a stadium. PC for sure. Yeah, console. Especially aiming on console, but not for me. Even though my favorite game I said was Breath of the Wild, which is console. Villager. Like I basically am Villager from Animal Crossing already, but to live in a tax-free world, don't have to really do anything, don't have to actually work. That sounds pretty good to me. Just chat to friends and water my plants all day. So I started off playing League of Legends. And realized I was pretty bad at it, so I'd never go pro. But I was still really interested in like being part of the scene. So I did watch a lot of pro esports back then, and I was like, I feel like there's a way for me to get here without actually having to play the game and like be the person on stage. Same as like theater, there's always actors on stage, but you've always got like lighting and people behind the scenes helping. So I thought there's definitely probably something here I could do that could match my skill set. When I went to uni, I went to the Video Game Society, and they had a lot of teams competing in Newell and NSE. I ended up being friends with one of the teams, the League of Legends teams in my uni, and I helped them do like analytics and like stats. I do like scouting of the enemy team for them. It was like a big operation, and I really enjoyed that. So I tried to branch out from that into semi-pro esports, like so grassroots esports organizations. I helped do like analyst work there. And that was where I really started off. It was basically like I kickstarted from the uni scene into grassroots esports. And then back then Hitmarker was still doing like volunteer roles. So that's where I found British Esports, volunteered for them. Lo and behold, after a year, came and worked for them. It's always been like a up and down decision for me. When I first started, I said in uni that I wanted to kind of get into the scene somehow. Then it was like, yes, I want to be in this industry. But then at the same time, I was like, am I really going to find a job here? Do I have the skills? I'm not even studying the right course, and like I don't have the technical skills. So it was like, yes, but I don't think I can actually do it realistically. And then when I volunteered with British Esports, I was like, this is kind of fun, and I now have experience. So it was like uphill again. And when we did it was getting close to my graduation from my bachelor's, when we held the Champs Grand Finals while I was still a volunteer. And I was thinking, I've got to graduate soon and get like a real fancy corporate job. Like, I'm not sure I can spend so much time on esports games. So I was down. And then we had the actual grand finals. I was there live, like standing on the stage and, you know, doing all the cool stuff that you see people do. And then after that, I was like, I need a job in esports. And it was just like upwards and upwards. And I was like, I need to like somehow break into this industry, because I realized this is what I really want to do. And I enjoyed every moment. And it was just there standing on the stage with like the headset and everything, you know, giving cool comms, being like, oh, okay, team one's heading on stage now, prepare the lights or whatever, made me feel like it was something special in the industry. And I wanted to have that feeling again and again and again and again. Probably the shortlisting for the Career Mentor in the MCV Women in Games Awards for 2023. It was completely unexpected. And I just remember I was just out shopping with my mum, and I got the email saying, you know, oh, you're a finalist. And I was like, there's no way this is happening right now. I've never been like nominated for anything before, and I think the achievement, I've said already, like you've seen on like our Twitter and stuff, it's kind of a good pat on the back, being like, oh, you know, you're heading in the right direction. You're actually making a change that's affecting others as well. Good job, you're going in the right direction. So I think that's the biggest achievement so far. Just that kind of recognition from not just my immediate peers, but like other people who've probably never even heard of me until that nomination, who are actually saying like, oh, look at this person and like what they're doing. It seems like they're doing some really good work and should be recognized for that. So yeah, that's definitely one of the pivotal moments in my life so far. I don't know, I want to be everywhere all at once. I mean, I've really enjoyed, like, apart from my everyday job, I also do, you know, broadcast and observing, right? I really enjoy that. In 5 years or whatever, I want to see myself being able to dip and dive into all of these different roles on like a hobby level, but also like as part of my full-time job as well. Broadcast, tournament organization. I don't really know where exactly I see myself, but I want to be doing all of these roles. I want to do everything. This is another I can't believe it moment as well. Probably if I didn't get the shortlist, I would have said this as like my biggest achievement. I feel really honored that I'm able to give insight into like this committee team and be a part of what seems like a really important team that's helping to grow change. It means a lot to me because I feel valued as a representative of some sort of a woman in esport. I don't know. I feel like it's a really special moment for me, being part of a team that I think has real potential. We get some of the most productive meetings done ever. Like the one we had in Excel, when I sat there and had that meeting, I feel like I've been able to contribute. I don't feel like I'm sitting there like twiddling my thumbs, nothing to say, and I'm sat here for no reason. I feel like I have my purpose in the committee, and I have my little space, my thoughts and my processes that really do contribute to the team, and I'm very proud to be part of it. Yeah, I feel like we've got a great team and it's going to be a productive one. We're going places. No, I don't think they're represented well enough yet. I think we need to reach that point where we don't have to ask the questions are they well represented enough? We should just be people in an industry who do their jobs, and we don't have to really ask the questions, have we fulfilled our quota? Have we done enough to represent them in the industry? Are we, getting enough people in? Are we educating others enough on this? So I think at the moment, no, they're not represented well enough. We've got a long way to go, but change is coming, and I mean, it's already happening now. Every day is a new day, and like every day something new happens. A new initiative. There's like new hope, and people finding jobs every day. I think it's a big step to take, but we are getting there. I have really mixed thoughts on this. I don't think I'd take only one stance on this. I can see both sides of it, and I change my mind every day because I think I'm not 100%, and I don't think anyone is. Female only tournaments, I think there's a way to make it work. If you're doing it right, it can be really empowering and a really good experience for all involved. The problem is, how do you run a good one? No one seems to have the right answer yet, because the industry is so young. Like esports itself, is young enough. I don't think everyone has the answers to run a female-only tournament currently that serves all the purposes it needs to. So my thoughts on female-only tournaments compared to co-ed are, it's complicated. Sometimes it can be good, and I think sometimes the main goal should be just to have everyone in the same tournament. Like there's the idea of female only tournaments and then the main competition. I think females should be in the main competition, and there should only be the main competition. There should be the same level of competitiveness, of prizing, and like interest from public and investors into these tournaments. So I don't think we should be trying to like separate them. Like, I'm changing my mind as I say these answers. So on one hand, I think we shouldn't separate them, because esports is esports, and people should just be people. Humans should be humans. We shouldn't have to separate. But on the other hand, I feel like, we need these tournaments to highlight these talents that are missing out on their opportunities to go into the main tournaments, and they're important in that aspect to give that kickstart. But yeah, like I've said, it's a working concept for sure. I think it's good and bad. It just needs a bit of help, and it needs some time. I want to see companies taking more responsibility in terms of the way they hire, and like being transparent on the stance that they take. There's a lot of companies out there who would rather say nothing at all. Ignorance is bliss. I think what we need is for companies to be there and say, we do not, or we do accept this, we do not accept this, this is acceptable, blah, blah, blah. We need the leaders in the industry, those with authority, to be there at the top and say, this is our company and this is our space. If you're in our space, you condone to these, practices that we're supporting, or you don't. I think it's this wishy-washy, no one's really saying anything, and like all the people in the public who are driving the change, but with no help from the top, that's really adding to the struggle of promoting inclusion in the industry. We need companies to take responsibility and take initiative, knowing that esports existed out there outside of players. When I started at university and like playing League of Legends, I watched the pro scene, and I knew there was like the referees who would sit on the stage and stuff. What I didn't know was like how to get there, or what the kind of stepping stones to a career in esports was like. I said before that, when we ran the champs finals, it was near when I had to graduate, and the reason why it was like a yes or no between should I pursue a career in esports is I didn't see that job stability, or like I didn't see a proper path into esports. So I think if I had known at the time, hey, look, there's all these companies, like, some are even on your doorstep in the UK, in London, whatever, and they're looking for people like you, and there are entry level roles, and there's kind of lower level training, development, progression to it. I would have gotten here a lot earlier than now. Not that I don't think I got here at a good time and like pretty fairly on. I wish in my secondary school, I wish we had the champs. That would have been great. If I played in the tournament, I think I would have like learned about this way quicker, and like all the pathways that come along with esports. Women in esports is a little piece of my heart. It's a little home that I have in there specifically. It's my home, and it's also my baby. I think it's a sign of the times, to quote Harry Styles. It's the sign of the change that I keep saying that is coming, is now, and should be driving the future. I can't wait to see what esports looks like in, I was going to say 10 years, but like even in 5. This esports industry is growing so quickly, we don't know where it's going to be, and I think women in esports is at the forefront of that. And I'm really proud and humbled to be part of this fight, I guess, to be on the front lines of the battle. Women in esports is the way I'm making my mark on the world. It's where I'm leaving my footprints behind.